Welcome to Idea Validation 101, the lean approach to rapidly validating your idea. My name is Simon Brightman. I'm the co-founder, CEO, and a venture coach here at Accelerator U. Poor validation is probably the greatest mistake of entrepreneurs today and a leading cause for failure. Product validation provides as close to scientific proof as possible of the following. First, the product core value and impact. This helps determine whether your idea or the product are going after a real, valuable opportunity versus one that is simply real in your head. Second, the product key elements and features. This helps determine what the product really needs to do in order to be successfully adopted by clients, and not just the things that you think it needs to do. Third, the willingness of clients to adopt the product. Ultimately, this is essential and helps determine the true willingness to adopt and pay for the product. This includes the testing of pricing models and levels. Without this, there really is nothing. Let's take a look at the program. The goal is to achieve an initial indication of validity for your idea. The results will be one of three. Yes, it appears people will in fact adopt and pay for your offering. In this case, it's right to look at next steps. Second, people may possibly adopt if certain changes are made to the capabilities, to the model, or other parts. In this case, you're going to want to fix and revalidate to make sure the changes are correct. The third option, which indeed happens, is it simply appears that there are too many things that are wrong. People will not adopt and pay. It's important to know this early on and fast. In this case, you'll either want to make some foundational changes or perhaps halt altogether. The process is comprised of 5 main steps, plus a summary that looks at next steps. Each can be done in 5 minutes of very focused work. Now, this is not to say that the entire thing is going to take 5 minutes, but every cycle should be done in 5 minutes until it yields the result that you want. If you start and you find you're getting nowhere, stop, regroup, and go for another 5-minute interval. This is the best way to do it rather than sitting down for hours and hours, racking your brain at this early stage when you're trying to achieve initial validation. Step 1 is where you examine in detail the benefits to your target audience. Ask the following questions. Who is the main beneficiary of your idea? What is the main problem you're seeking to solve? What 3 main benefits will your idea yield? Assume for the moment it's possible to manifest it, to create it. Now what you want to do is quantify these benefits. Empirical measures are good, scientific ones. Quantitative measures are what really catch. So for example, will people receive a diagnosis X% faster? But the qualitative ones are also very important. These are things that people can measure simply by observation and by everyday life. For example, a notable reduction in stress. You can't really measure that, but you can indeed gauge it. The 5th question, this is where you want to ask whether these benefits and their quantification are compelling. Are they compelling? Are they overwhelming in a good way? Or are they underwhelming? After completing these questions, be honest. If things are not compelling, go back and refine. Step 2 is about capabilities and features. Here you want to ask, what are the top 3 to 5 things that your solution must do to deliver on the benefits from earlier? A thing or a capability is an ability that is essential and without which your solution will simply not deliver. For example, an ability to control the thermostat remotely is an essential capability of a Nest or another remote thermostat, without which it cannot deliver on its ultimate promise. For each capability now, you're going to need some features. A feature is the way the capability will come to life, the way it manifests itself. Using the Nest example, the capability is remote control. The feature is controlling it through a smartphone app. Now document your capabilities, and then for each capability, 2 or 3 features. It's okay if you only have 1. These could be the really essential ones. Step 3 is about competition and models. Here are the following questions you want to answer. How are people currently solving the problem you wish to address? Even if only partially, what are these solutions that are addressing the problem? Which of these are succeeding in market today and which are failing? What are the main reasons that you've observed? How are people charging today? For example, is it a one-time purchase fee, a subscription, or another model? How much are people paying? Now take the best pricing model, of course, from the successful competitors or partial competitors, and take any other good attributes you've identified as part of your analysis. Now build out your optimal business model, how much you're going to charge and how you'll charge. Step 4 is where you build a paper prototype. A paper prototype is a written summary of what your solution is and is aimed at allowing potential clients to rapidly understand and respond to it. Complete the following template. You can also add a visual, graphic, or a drawing if you think it'll help folks understand. This, pick the product or service, allows you to, and in 140 characters or less, describe what it does, so that you, and once again, in 140 characters or less, insert the main impact or benefit reflecting on the key problem it solves, all the work you previously did. Now you want to state that these are some of the main things it does, and here pick the top 3 relevant features for the target audience you're showing this to. Insert a name of a feature or a descriptor of it, what it does and what benefit it offers, once again in 140 characters or less. Now repeat this another 1 or 2 times for your top features. Finally, state how people can access this, for example, via their mobile phone, at a specific location, etc. And how they would generally use it. State the frequency, the expected price, and the model. Step 5 is where you validate with your target audience. This rapid validation is simply a first indicator, but it's a methodical and critical one. Here are the steps. Pick 5 people who would be target clients, not just friends or family. Call each one or meet in person and send or hand them the paper prototype. Ask the following questions. Aim for about 5 minutes or so with each person. First, does this address a real problem that you have? Second, would this solution solve or address it in a meaningful way, a way that would really matter to you? Third, would you agree to pay whatever your price is for it? And finally, would they agree to be part of the pilot group of first users and even purchase this now? This is really essential. If you can convince people to adopt and pay for it at this stage, you're really onto something. You can state that everything is 100% guaranteed and refundable, but what you want to see is whether people will in fact adopt and pay at this early stage. Where to now? You've completed your initial validation, and you're facing one of the following situations. Option 1, which doesn't happen on the first shot. People love your proposition and are willing to sign up and pay now. In this case, what you want to do is validate your solution more extensively, build out the various elements, the models, the capabilities, and the prototype, and then look at funding options. Option 2, which is far more likely. People value the problem you're solving, and indeed some of the benefits speak to them, but the solution itself may not just be right yet. What it does, or perhaps its model. In this case, you want to rework, revalidate, go back to the audience again, and soon. Show them progress. Show them that you're listening. Option 3, it does happen. It's infrequent when you're dealing with dedicated people, but it could happen. In this case, you may be way off, and there are clear and compelling solutions today, and you really can't find a way to differentiate and compete. You may want to stop in this case. Surprisingly, number 3 is quite infrequent when you follow a methodical process because the process is built such that it guides you in developing a useful solution, often different than what you initially envisioned, but a useful one that people will in fact adopt and pay for. In that case, you're more likely looking at revalidating based on refinement, going back until indeed people are willing to adopt and pay.